Welcome to this explainer. Okay, let's jump right in. Today, we're traveling to the sweeping, sun-baked granite hills of Bihar, India. And out here, there is an absolutely astonishing architectural anomaly that is just hiding in plain sight. Seriously, if you were looking at these massive granite outcrops from the outside, you'd think they were entirely natural. But hidden within this incredibly unforgiving rock are the Barabar Caves. And I have to emphasize, these are not natural formations carved by wind or water. They are entirely man-made. They were painstakingly carved directly out of some of the absolute hardest rock on planet Earth. The level of artistry, the engineering, the mathematical perfection found inside these stone walls, it literally continues to baffle historians and engineers to this day. To truly wrap our heads around the scale of this achievement, just consider this number for a second. 2,300. That is how many years these rock-cut structures have been standing. Dating back over 2 millennia, they hold the incredible title of being the oldest surviving rock-cut caves in all of India. So we aren't just looking at a neat piece of history here. We are looking at the absolute dawn of India's incredibly rich rock-cut architectural tradition. It is the very genesis of a monumental engineering movement.
Okay, let's dive into this. How on earth did ancient craftsmen carve solid granite with such perfect precision? I mean, this is the central burning mystery of the Barabar Caves. Usually, when we look at large-scale ancient construction, we expect a little roughness, maybe a bit of trial and error. But what we find here is the exact opposite. We are talking about flawlessly curved chambers, unbelievably smooth surfaces, and exact mind-bending geometry. And they pulled all of this off without a single extension cord, no modern machinery, no heavy computing, nothing.
Section 1. Stepping inside. To really understand the sheer magnitude of this, I want you to imagine taking this journey yourself, okay? You're standing out in the intense heat of the Indian sun, way back in the 3rd century BCE. You walk up to these massive granite outcrops and step across the threshold into the Sudama cave. Instantly, the whole environment shifts. It's cool, it's pitch dark, and as your eyes adjust, you realize you're standing in this perfectly rectangular entrance hall. You walk a little further in, and suddenly you're in a circular chamber with a domed ceiling. The geometry all around you is just flawlessly executed. But then, somebody lights a torch, and as the torchlight hits the walls, you witness this phenomenon known as the Mauryan polish. It is absolutely wild. The walls inside these caves literally shine like glass. Even today, standing there more than 2,300 years later, these walls reflect light with an extraordinary, mirror-like clarity. Actually, visitors constantly report that the surfaces look machine-made. It's an ancient finishing technique resulting in granite so flawless, it basically looks like polished metal. Let's put that into perspective for a second. Granite is a ridiculously hard stone. Today, if a modern builder wants to get a smooth finish on granite, like say for your kitchen countertops, they need highly advanced power tools, diamond-tipped abrasives, and heavy industrial machinery. But the ancient artisans of Barabar, they didn't have diamond power sanders. They relied entirely on sand, quartz, other basic abrasives, and what must have been just an unfathomable number of hours of intense human labor. They ground and polished that impossibly hard stone completely by hand until it reflected the world around it like a mirror.
But wait, the visual impact. That's really only half the story here. The physical architecture created an absolute auditory miracle. These caves feature perfectly engineered acoustics. A single, quiet whisper or a low hum reverberates powerfully throughout the chambers, lasting for several seconds. And think about why that matters. Many scholars believe these spaces were intentionally designed to enhance spiritual practices. Just imagine the sensory impact of that. Ancient religious chants and prayers amplifying, echoing powerfully, and vibrating off those dark, glass-like walls. These definitely were not built just to get out of the rain. They were highly engineered, sacred spaces designed specifically to inspire absolute awe.
Section 2. The Masterminds. The Mauryan Empire. So, you've got to wonder, who on earth was capable of marshaling the resources, the intellect, and the massive manpower to achieve this? Well, to understand the how, we have to zoom out a bit geographically and temporally to understand the who. The Mauryan Empire, founded in 322 BCE, was one of the absolute largest and most powerful states in the ancient world. But the key figure for our story takes the throne in 268 BCE, Emperor Ashoka. Ashoka is, without a doubt, one of history's greatest monarchs. Early on, he waged the brutal Kalinga War, witnessing just horrific bloodshed. But then, in 261 BCE, deeply affected by the horrors of that conflict, Ashoka undergoes this massive personal transformation. He embraces Buddhism, peace, tolerance, and religious harmony. And this massive shift sparked a true golden age of monumental architecture across his empire. Right in the middle of this creative explosion, around 250 BCE, the Barabar Caves are officially dedicated. Now, here's a super fascinating detail. The Ajivikas were an ancient ascetic religious sect, and back then they were major rivals to both Buddhism and Jainism. Yet ancient inscriptions carved directly into the Barabar Caves prove that Emperor Ashoka actually dedicated several of these magnificent spaces to them. It's a brilliant illustration of the Mauryan Empire's incredible commitment to religious tolerance. Ashoka, a devout Buddhist himself, was pouring immense wealth and his best engineering brilliance into creating a literal masterpiece for a rival religious community. And this spirit of monumental creation and religious support, it didn't just die with Ashoka. His grandson, Dasharatha, actually continued the tradition. He expanded the empire's architectural ambition by commissioning additional caves in the nearby Nagarjuni Hills. And just like the Barabar Caves, these new chambers also featured those incredible, mirror-polished interiors and carried their own historical inscriptions. It completely cemented the Mauryan era as a true golden age of multi-religious support and unparalleled stone carving. Section 3. Engineering the impossible. Because of the extraordinary, almost unbelievable precision of the Barabar and Nagarjuni caves, they've naturally become a massive magnet for alternative theories. I mean, people visit these caves, they touch those glass-like walls, and they immediately declare, "No way, this is too perfect for ancient technology." You'll constantly hear wild speculation online about lost technologies, forgotten advanced methods, or, you guessed it, alien intervention. But as experts note, the real mystery is how ancient craftsmen achieved such remarkable results using the tools available over 2,000 years ago. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how it perfectly refocuses our attention. The archaeological evidence here is rock solid. The inscriptions from Ashoka and Dasharatha provide direct historical documentation. The true mystery isn't whether they used magic lasers or something. The real, truly awe-inspiring mystery is grounded in verified, painstakingly hard human labor, which builds a picture of intense dedication through a really brutal three-step physical process. Step 1, workers had to literally hack into solid granite using nothing but iron tools. Step 2, they had to excavate massive interior chambers, removing absolute tons of rock, all while maintaining astonishingly precise geometric forms, like perfect rectangles leading smoothly into perfect domes. And finally, step 3, the truly brutal polishing process, grinding and smoothing every single square inch of that interior to a mirror shine, using just sand, quartz, and elbow grease. It demonstrates a level of organization, planning, and raw craftsmanship that is almost unrivaled in the ancient world. Section 4. Blueprint for Indian Architecture. But the impact of all this labor didn't just stay isolated in those hills. While the Sudama Cave is famous for its insane polish, the nearby Lomas Rishi Cave actually holds the key to the future of Indian architecture. Its entrance features this incredibly intricate horseshoe-shaped arch. And what makes this so incredibly special is that the stone facade perfectly imitates the wooden structures that were common during the Mauryan period. So the crucial point is this: the ancient architects essentially took the temporary, decaying wooden building styles of their day and permanently translated them into immortal stone. They literally froze their architectural present for eternity. And by doing so, they created the absolute blueprint for the future. That single horseshoe arch prototype at Lomas Rishi, it became a defining hallmark of Indian rock-cut architecture, going on to inspire centuries of magnificent, world-renowned cave complexes. The architectural DNA of Barabar can be seen in the breathtaking caves of Ajanta, Karla, Baja, Kanheri, and Ellora. The Barabar Caves quite literally represent the genesis of India's entire rock-cut architectural heritage. Section 5. A legacy preserved in stone. Let's just take a quick moment to reflect on the sheer endurance of this masterpiece. More than 23 centuries have passed since the very first iron tool struck that granite. Entire empires have risen to absolute global dominance and then crumbled to dust. Religions have been born and spread across entire continents. Yet the Barabar Caves remain, proving that ancient civilizations often possessed skills far, far beyond what we usually imagine. I think that perfectly encapsulates the whole story here. These caves aren't just empty rooms in a hillside. They're a towering monument to human ingenuity. Their polished granite walls continue to reflect the light exactly as they did for the ancient Ajivikas. Their perfect chambers continue to echo with sound, proving their mathematical and architectural perfection hasn't degraded one single bit over 2 millennia.
It truly leaves us with a profound sense of awe, doesn't it? And it brings us to our final question today. What other impossible achievements of our ancestors are just hiding out there in plain sight, waiting to be rediscovered? The Barabar Caves absolutely prove that our ancestors were capable of manipulating the hardest materials on Earth into masterpieces of art and science. It definitely makes you wonder, what else is out there? Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. I hope you leave today with a totally newfound appreciation for the brilliant engineering of the ancient world. Keep asking questions, keep looking closely at the past, and I'll